So what are some of the insights? And obviously you can make a lot of arguments out of that, and I just want to present some ideas to make my argument today. So one insight, and we see similar results if you look at the gap studies from Sandberg, for example, here in the US, we see that on the one hand, communication obviously rises in importance for organizations, for corporations in our global and digital world. I think that's not new, we all know that. But empirical studies also show us that, unfortunately, that doesn't mean at all that the influence and status of the communication function or department, or even resources and budgets, are growing at the same time. So, why is this the case? And is something going wrong because the profession is developing, we're educating people, agencies, your efforts are really good and you're working on that. So what's going wrong with that? I think one important insight is if you ask communication professionals what is going wrong, what are the barriers affecting professionalization of communication, is that usually people blame others. So they say top management doesn't understand what communication is about, but more importantly, 3 out of 4 of these European communication professionals in these large-scale studies tell us that communication professionals themselves are not able to prove the impact of communication on organizational goals. And I think that's very important. It's not about evaluation and KPIs in the small sense. I think we're talking about the big picture. So all qualitative studies show us that's a real issue. I think PR professionals nowadays are still not very mature in storytelling on their own behalf, on really telling what they're doing and telling that consistently. And I'll show you in a minute, because we did these qualitative interviews, that even with global CEOs, if you ask 20 people, you get 20 totally different stories, what they're doing and how they are developing and improving value. And if you would ask these same issues, let's say a corporate lawyer, if you would ask the same question to an R&D manager, you would probably get a more consistent story. And that's a big question, not a small question, probably coming back to us as educators and researchers. So now we change the perspective, and that's a figure coming out of the study where we asked the board level members, only in large companies, only first level C-suite managers, CEOs or other board members. And you see that they told us, that 2/3 of them told us that professional corporate communications managed by communication departments or agencies is very important for success, which means 1/3 say it's not important. But they all tell us that communication is important, and 9 of 10 tell us that their own communication is important. So it's the same picture from the other side. Communication is very important, but not the communication function, or not everybody understands or believes that. So again, what is the reason behind that? And now our, let's say, longitudinal survey shows us some quite interesting results. So this is again from the European Communication Monitor study, and I told you we do this since 2007. And starting in 2008, we asked for the top strategic issues in the near future for communication managers. And it's a long list, obviously. I just picked up the top 4. And what you see here is quite interesting, because we see that that's a red line, for example, coping with digital evolution, social web. It got up, but now it says in the last 2 years, like 2014, only 1/3 of communication experts across Europe tell us that's one of our key issues for the near future, for the next 2 or 3 years. The same with CSR communication. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that they're not doing digital or CSR. It doesn't mean that it's routine. It's not really a strategic challenge, because also press relations, not showing up here, but also they're investing a lot in press relations, obviously. But the only issue which is constantly about 50% or below this line is exactly linking business strategy and communication. And that means that even during the last 7 years, in that case, across Europe, and we have differences between different countries, obviously, different types of organizations, but these are details you can look up in the charts if you're interested in that. this question has not been solved. And we have a lot of discussions, not only here in the evaluation measurement group, all over Europe, you know that, about all these evaluation issues, but that's not the question. The question is how to deliver value, how to tell others, how to tell your board, your C-level people, how to develop value.